Sade never thought her life could change so dramatically in a single day. It all started when her mother, Mommy Fumi, announced she was getting married to a man named Chief Obinna. Sade had known her mother had been dating for a while, but the sudden announcement of marriage threw her off balance. She didn't know how to feel. At 22, Sade was an independent woman studying law at the University of Lagos, and she had her own life planned out. Her mother's marriage seemed like an unnecessary disruption, but nothing prepared her for the shock when she met Obinna's son, Emeka. He was tall, handsome, and charming, the kind of guy that drew attention wherever he went. And worst of all, she felt an undeniable pull towards him the moment their eyes met. But there was one problem. Emeka was about to become her stepbrother. The day her mother and Chief Obinna brought the families together, Sade's stomach churned in nervousness. She was introduced to Obinna's two children, Emeka, who was 25, and his younger sister, Ada, who was 18. As Sade shook hands with Emeka, something electric passed between them. His smile was warm, but there was something behind it, something intense that made her heart race. "It's nice to finally meet you," Emeka said in his deep, smooth voice. Sade forced a smile, trying to push down the strange feelings rising in her chest. "Nice to meet you too." Throughout the dinner, she couldn't help but steal glances at him. The way he spoke, the way he laughed, it all captivated her. But this was wrong, wasn't it? They were about to be family. At the end of the evening, Sade felt conflicted. She knew she had to push these feelings aside, but the more she tried, the stronger they became. Over the next few weeks, Sade's mother and Chief Obinna's wedding preparation took over her life. Both families were spending more time together, and every time Sade was around Emeka, the tension between them grew. It wasn't just her imagination. Emeka seemed to feel it too. His eyes lingered on her a little too long. His touches felt a little too intimate. One evening, after a family dinner, Sade found herself alone with Emeka in the living room. The air was thick with unspoken words, and Sade's heart was pounding in her heart. "You're quiet tonight," Emeka said, sitting beside her on the couch. Sade shrugged, trying to appear casual. "Just thinking." "About what?" She hesitated, her eyes meeting his. She couldn't say what was really on her mind, that she couldn't stop thinking about him, that she was fighting feelings she wasn't supposed to have. "Nothing important," she finally said, standing to leave. But Emeka grabbed her hand, stopping her. "Sade, we need to talk." Sade froze, turning back to him. "About what?" His eyes were intense as they searched hers. "About this thing between us." Sade's heart skipped a beat. So she wasn't imagining it, but what was she really supposed to say? How could she admit that she was falling for her soon-to-be stepbrother? Sade pulled her hand away, her heart racing. "There is nothing between us, Emeka. We are about to become a family." Emeka stood up, his expression serious. "I know, but you can't deny that something is happening here. I feel it, and I know you feel it too." Sade backed away, shaking her head. "This is wrong. We can't." "Why not?" Emeka interrupted, stepping closer. "We are not related by blood, and we didn't ask for this. Our parents' marriage doesn't change how we feel." Sade's breath caught in her throat. He was right, but that didn't make it any less complicated. How could they possibly pursue something when their parents were about to get married? "I don't know what to do," she whispered, her voice trembling. Emeka reached out and gently touched her cheek, sending a shiver down her spine. "Neither do I, but we can't ignore this, Sade." For a moment, Sade thought he might kiss her, but instead he pulled back. leaving her standing there, torn between desire and fear. The day of the wedding arrived, and Sade could barely keep herself together. Watching her mother walk down the aisle towards Chief Obinna should have been a joyful moment, but all Sade could think about was Emeka. He stood across, looking dashing in his suit, and every time their eyes met, it felt like a secret was passing between them. As the ceremony went on, Sade kept asking herself the same question. What now? How could they move forward, knowing their families were now bound together? After the ceremony, during the reception, Emeka found her standing alone by the garden. He approached her quietly, his presence overwhelming. This is crazy, isn't it? He said, leaning against the railing beside her. She nodded. Yeah, it is. I've been thinking, he continued, his voice low. Maybe we need to take some time apart. Figure out what this really is before we do something we can't take back. Sade swallowed hard. The idea of staying away from Emeka was painful, but she knew he was right. They couldn't just push into something so complicated without thinking through it. Okay, she agreed, though her heart ached at the thought. Emeka nodded, though he looked just as conflicted as she felt. We will figure this out, Sade, I promise. For the next few weeks, Sade and Emeka kept their distance. Sade buried herself in her studies, trying to distract herself from the feeling she couldn't shake. But no matter how hard she tried, the thoughts of Emeka crept into her mind. She missed the way he made her laugh. One evening, Sade's phone buzzed, and her heart skipped a bit when she saw Emeka's name on the screen. Can we talk? Sade stared at the message, her fingers trembling. She knew she shouldn't meet him, but her heart was already pulling her towards him. Before she could stop herself, she replied, Okay, where? They met at a quiet cafe in Ikoyi, away from prying eyes. Sade's heart was racing as she sat across from Emeka, who looked just as nervous as she felt. I miss you, Emeka said quietly, his eyes fixed on hers. Sade looked down at her hand, unsure of what to say. She had missed him too, but admitting it felt like opening a door she wasn't ready to walk through. I've been thinking, Emeka continued. Maybe we don't have to run from this. Maybe we can figure this out together. Sade's heart was pounding in her heart. She wanted to say yes, but her mind was filled with doubts. But what about our parents? What about everyone else? They will never understand. Emeka leaned forward, his gaze intense. I don't care what anyone else thinks. All I know is that I want to be with you, Sade. We can take it slow, but I can't keep pretending I don't feel anything. Sade's resolve crumbled. She couldn't deny what was in her heart any longer. Okay, she whispered, let's try. From that day on, Sade and Emeka began seeing each other in secret. It was thrilling and terrifying all at once. Sneaking around, meeting late at night, and exchanging stolen kisses. But every moment they spent together only made their connection stronger. But as much as they tried to keep their relationship hidden, it wasn't long before someone began to suspect. One afternoon, Ada, Emeka's younger sister, caught them holding hands in the garden. Her eyes widened in shock, and before Sade could explain, Ada turned and walked away without a word. Later that evening, Ada cornered Sade in the kitchen. What's going on between you and my brother? Sade froze, her heart pounding. Ada, it's not what you think. Ada folded her arms, her eyes narrowing. Really? But it looks like you two are sneaking around behind everyone's back. Sade sighed, knowing there was no point in lying. Ada, please don't tell anyone. It is complicated. Ada stared at her for a long moment, then shook her head. You're playing a dangerous game, Sade. If this gets out, it could destroy everything. Sade shook her head. Sade knew Ada was right, but she wasn't ready to give up on Emeka. I know, but we are trying to figure it out. Ada's expression softened slightly. Just be careful. I won't say anything, but you need to think about what you're doing. Sade and Emeka's relationship continued in secret, but the pressure of hiding their feelings began to weigh heavily on them. Every stolen moment felt risky, and Sade's guilt grew with each passing day.